Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about a problem we're having with our Zoeller Aquanaut 508 sump pump. Okay, this is the noise I was telling you about, the beeping from the sump pump itself. So let's go back there, let's take a look at it and see what's going on. Now this sump pump, just so you know, is a complete assembly. It came with the primary and secondary pump in a whole manifold assembly, as well as this controller here. Now we put the whole unit in, everything's working fine, but periodically the alarm itself will start to ring after, like in the middle of the night. It'll just start to ring where you have to come down and you have to silence it to turn the alarm off. So there's a couple things you have to check first. One is the most important thing, is right here. It's a fuse in here. Make sure that that fuse is not burned out. Now I did check it and that fuse is not burned out. You can pull it out and you can look at it and you can see if it's burnt out or not. Next thing we have to do is you have to look at this system here. Now I did silence this because it was beeping earlier, so we know the battery is ready, but according to this, the battery, there's something going on with the battery itself. So what we did is we open up the carrier itself here, which pretty much just open it up like that. There's a little clip. You open it up and you can look at the battery itself. And this one still has acid in the battery itself. So you want to check it and make sure that the acid level is full. But then when I opened it up and looked at it, I saw that according to this chart right here, this battery is actually a little over 5 years old. And normally a sump pump battery will last you probably 3 to 5 years. It doesn't really last much longer than that. All right, but what we're going to do to play it safe, we're going to make sure that this battery is good or no good. We're going to check the water level, which is first, and then we're going to test it to see how the battery itself actually is. Sometimes you can have a weak cell in a battery, and that can cause that light to light up right there. All right, so first thing we're going to do now is we're going to come in here, we're going to unplug the whole system and disconnect it. And the way you do that basically is you just take your plug here. This is to the controller itself, and this one is the pump. So we're going to unplug the pump and we're going to unplug the controller itself like that. So now this is all turned off. This is turned off, but now we're operating strictly on battery power. All right, then we take this. We're going to lift the battery out first, so let me lift this out and we'll take a look at it and see what the water level looks like. And if you look very closely, if you put a flashlight behind it, you'll see that the water level is actually fairly full inside here. Let me grab a flashlight and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now obviously you can open up the top and you can look down inside the top too, but I'm going to show you how I usually do it. Put the flashlight behind it and you can see the water level right there. And if you're not sure, you can shake it a little bit and you can see the level is good on all the cells. They're all up to where it belongs. See? All right, let's take this battery, disconnect it, and we'll test it and see if the battery is good. Okay, so now the way we're going to test this battery is we have our battery tester. We're going to connect it on just like this, negative and positive. If you're not sure which is which, it tells you right on the top of the battery, positive and negative. This is the tester here we're going to use. I'm going to click on it. We're going to do an out of the vehicle test, which is right here. This is a regular flooded battery, meaning that it has acid inside the battery. It could be an AGM, which is a glass mat battery, but this one is not. This is a regular lead acid battery. So we're going to continue with that. Now we're going to come over here and you can see it has the CCA and the SAE and all that. We need AH, which is amp hours. We need to check the amp hours on this particular battery. Now when I looked it up online, this battery here is supposed to be 140 amp hours. So we're 140 amp hours. We're going to press to test it. and that's clean cut. It just tells you replace the battery. It only has 575 amp hours. The voltage is good, but the amp hours is no good. So the battery needs to be replaced with a new one. All right, so we're going to get a battery that's equally as good as this one here. This one is 140, but according to the manufacturer, we need one that's between 90 and 125 amp hours. So we're going to make sure we get a battery that's capable of producing the amp hours we need. Let's grab the battery and we'll put it back in. Okay, so we picked up our new battery. They did not have it in stock. We needed to order it. But as you can see here, it's 100 amp hours. The other one was 125, but this system calls for between 90 and 125. So this is the battery that we elected to get. They had to ship it in, as I said. All right, now when we put this in, we're going to put it into the battery box right there. This is a negative and this is positive. All right, so just take your battery, drop it inside the box there. It comes with new screws to screw it together. Okay, just like that. This is the package of screws that they give you. So let's open it up and we're going to connect them up, the positive and the negative. Okay, so basically what we did is we connected our positive onto the positive, our negative onto the negative, and that's all there is to it. Now you can use a screwdriver or you can use a wrench to adjust it. I happen to use a wrench because it's a little bit easier to tighten it with that versus a regular Phillips head screwdriver. All right, so now we have them connected up. As you can see, it's blinking right now. So let's put the cover back on and let's plug the whole system in and make sure it works okay. And the way we put this cover on, we bring this over to the side like that, put this over the top. Bring our cable over, push it down, and that's all there is to it. So the battery is now in the box where it belongs. Let's come up here. We're going to plug in everything again up on top here. This is the pump itself. And this is the controller. And we plugged it in. And you can see now that the battery is actually charging. That's what this light means here right now, that the battery is actually charging. All right, we're going to test it to make sure it runs. All right. So now this light will remain on until this battery comes up to a full 100% charge. Now, of course, when the battery is in the warehouse, it does deplete some of its power. So we're going to let it charge up here. We'll come down here and we'll take a look at it just to make sure it's fully charged, and we'll be good to go. All right, so the only thing I want to overemphasize to you is that when you go to these big box stores, they have the smaller batteries in stock. They're only 750 amp hours, which is not adequate for this particular pump. So check your manufacturer's recommendation of what battery you need. The worst thing you can have is to go and put in a battery into the system only to find out that it just doesn't have the capacity to run your pump during an extended power outage. With this brand new battery in here and being at 100 amp hours, it should run for probably a couple of days intermittently without a problem. Hopefully we never have to find out, but it's there just in case. So make sure you check the manufacturer to find out what they say about minimum and maximum amp hour recommendation. Okay, just want to give you an update on the new battery that we installed. Now, as you remember, when we plugged it in, this battery light here was lit red, and the reason it was red is because the battery, from sitting in the warehouse and during the shipping time, it discharged slightly. This system actually charges the battery up to bring it up to what it's supposed to be. And as you can see now, the system is ready and the battery is in good condition. So that's it. This system is ready to go in the event of a power failure. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.